Today, I'm going to be making a Gideon's Bakehouse copycat recipe. This will be a copycat recipe of their chocolate chip covered cookies. If you've never heard of Gideon's Bakehouse, they are located in Disney Springs in Orlando, Florida. They have another location in Florida as well. Kevin and I have only been to the one at Disney Springs. We actually did a review in our hotel room when we were staying at Walt Disney World. We did a review of their cookies in our hotel room. So if you haven't looked at that, you can find that on the channel under Gideon's Bakehouse. So as always, I will have a link below this video in the description of where you can click on this and print out the recipe that I used if it looks like something you want to use as well. You need a mixer. I have a stand mixer. You can use a hand mixer. And then you want to get a cookie sheet out and put a piece of parchment paper on your cookie sheet. You will also need half a cup of unsalted butter, which I buy half sticks, but each half stick is 1/4 of a cup. So you need 1 full stick of butter. You need 3/4 cup of light brown sugar, a 1/4 cup white sugar, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 cups of flour, ½ teaspoon of salt, ½ teaspoon of baking powder, and 2 cups, they're saying semi-sweet chocolate chips. I like the Guitar brand and I like milk chocolate. So mine aren't going to be semi-sweet, mine are going to be milk chocolate. But that's just personal preference. If you want to use dark chocolate, you can. So in your bowl, you want to cream together your butter, white sugar, and brown sugar until it is fluffy. Beat in your egg and vanilla. I've scraped down my bowl. Now you want to add in your baking powder and your salt and your flour until it's just mixed in. And I'm going to add my flour just a little bit at a time so that it doesn't puff up. Stir in a 1/4 cup of the chocolate chips, which does not seem like a lot, but since I'm using the Guitar chips, they really don't go very far. So I may need, fortunately for me, I have some extra bags. I may add a little bit from another bag. We'll just see. I'm gonna add a little bit more than a 1/4. Just because these are extra large chips. But now you see this dough is crumbly. That's the way it's supposed to be. Now I'm going to take this and form it into 6 equal balls. So I'll start with like a rough estimate, and then I'll add more as needed. Decision instead of just using Guitar, because this is how many, and I could open another bag, I could, but Gideon's I think uses regular chocolate chips. So I found these up in the cabinet. These are the Nestle Toll House semi-sweet morsels. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Gideon's first, but then if it doesn't fill in the entire cookie, then I will open these up and I'll fill in the blank spots with these Nestle Toll House, and that way you'll get different textures. Because what you want to do now is you want to take these and you're supposed to cover the entire outside of these with chocolate chips. Well, guess what? That's gonna be really, really hard to do because this is so crumbly and these guitar chips are so large. So I'm wondering if I made a mistake to try to use the guitar and if I shouldn't have just gone with the Nestle Toll House to begin with. We'll have to see. Because this dough is very, very dense and you literally are having to put in chip by chip and then they want to fall out. They want to fall back out of your hand. So like I'm putting them in and they're coming back out. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm changing my mind again. Not gonna try the Nestle Toll House because if I pick these up, these chips are just gonna keep falling off. That's what's gonna happen. So, while I have them sitting here, I might just try to stick in some extra chips like this. If you've seen Gideon's cookies are completely covered. But we can also, after they come out of the oven, we can also add more chips then. So I think that's good. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait, and we have to refrigerate these anyway. So you don't need to preheat your oven. That's why I didn't mention it at the beginning, because it says you need to put these in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. So about 15 minutes into that 30 minutes, when I have about 15 minutes left, I will preheat my oven to 375 so that it's ready to go in half an hour. But right now I'm just gonna pop this whole pan into the refrigerator. These were in the refrigerator for half an hour. I'm going to put them in the oven. It says for 18 minutes. You do not want them to get brown. They want to be a little bit underdone. And then when I pull them out and they're soft, I will stick the remaining chips wherever I find a space. My cookies were only in for 16 minutes and I took them out, but I took them out because it's starting to get brown right here and they're not supposed to get brown. And now, as I said, I'm gonna try to stick my chips in all of the gaps so that they look a little bit more like Gideon's, because right now they don't look too much like Gideon's. I think if I did these again, I would just go with the regular baking chips because the guitar chips are so big. I do love them for that very reason, but just with this particular cookie recipe, I think it would be better to use small chips. So right now I'm just gonna go as quickly as I can and try to cover up as much space as possible. What this looks like cut in half so we can see. Here we go. So that is what it looks like in the center. So this says these giant chocolate chip covered cookies are inspired by the Gideon's Bakehouse original chocolate chip, and they do not disappoint. This is from MamaLovesFood.com. So like I said,
Mama does love food.
Mama does love her some food.
Papa.
Papa loves Mama.
Papa loves food.
But yes, these are supposed to be a lot of calories. Do you want to know?
I don't know.
Okay. Let's see.
They might want to know.
Well, it's supposed to be 386, but you know what? That's going to depend on a lot of different factors, and the chocolate chips, how big, exactly. So, you know what? I just say enjoy it.
Very chocolatey.
I love the chocolate chips. So
The cookie itself is a little dry.
Kevin was not here when I was making these. So he did not see the effort that went into these. In order to get all of these chips on the outside, you basically have to stick them in there yourself. Piece.
Is that because they're bigger?
I think it is because.
Because I would think you could roll it right there. You could roll it in the small ones.
I think you could. I think if I had used, at one point during the video, I got out the Nestle Toll House because I thought I might use these along with the big ones. And then I didn't end up using them because I thought, wait, I'll stick as many of these in there as I can, bake them, and then when there's any empty space while they're still just freshly baked, I'll stick it in the parts that are empty. And that's what I did. And I ended up using the whole bag of the Guitar chocolate. It's like 11.5 ounces. I ended up using that entire bag. So I did not end up using any of the Nestle Toll House at all.
I mean, it's definitely got enough chocolate in it.
It does. And I do love that Guitar chocolate. And they have lots of different flavors. So you could go with a caramel, or you could go with a butterscotch, or a white chocolate, or a dark chocolate. They have it all. I have not tried the Guitar in any other flavor but the milk chocolate. So I don't know, like if you buy the milk chocolate pieces, are they the same size? Or are they the size of a Nestle Toll House chip? I don't know. I do think for this particular cookie, you would probably be better off using Nestle Toll House or that something similar because of the size. I think that small size, you're going to be able to fit it in better, like squeeze it more with your hands. Whereas
you would think you'd be able to roll them easier.
Yeah, whereas these are so chunky and that dough is really, really packed in there that like there was nowhere for those chips to go. It was just that big firm chip on that big firm ball of dough, and it was like there was no space for it.
These are good. I think I'd rather have just a traditional chocolate chip cookie, honestly. Only reason I say that is because these are, the cookie itself, the cookie mix itself is more dense. A little dry, and it doesn't have that like salty, buttery kind of flavor you get with a really good chocolate chip cookie.
I think,
like
yeah.
Nestle Toll House recipe on the back of the bag, those are really good.
Yes. I think
like it,
as far as looks go, I think this looks really nice. And when you put pictures of it on it, take pictures of them and you see them, I think they're impressive to look at. I do not think they're worth the effort to try to get all those chocolate pieces stuck in there because it's time. It's very
unless you use the small ones and you can roll them.
Unless it's easier with the small ones, yes. But the main thing about this particular recipe was it was supposed to be a Gideon's Copycat.
Inspired.
Well, it says Copycat. Yeah, Bakehouse Copycat.
Oh,
that's their words.
Inspired.
That's not my words. That's their words.
No, it's not a copycat.
It's not a copycat. It's not. So that's the thing is I've been trying ever since we had Gideon's over a year ago. I've been trying to find a Gideon's Copycat recipe. And
because they're kind of soft, not gooey necessarily, but they're soft in the middle.
They're
just
almost
barely
like,
baked.
Yeah, barely baked. So the problem that you run into is you see all these copycat recipes online, but then if you go down below to the comments, people have said, I made these. These aren't like Gideon's. So it's like people are posting regular chocolate chip cookies and
just making them big.
Making them look similar to Gideon's, and they don't taste like it. This, I like the recipe.
I like it. It's really good.
It's a good recipe. It is not Gideon's though. It does not. It does not taste like Gideon's at all. The texture's not like Gideon's.
No, because Gideon's are stuffed inside too. They got tons of chips inside.
Right. They only had you put a fourth of a cup, and I even added a little bit more just because these were bigger chips. So as a cookie, if you want a nice chocolate chip cookie, yes, it's nice looking. It's impressive.
Yep.
It's fine.
People enjoy them if you had a party and made a bunch.
They would because they really do look cool. However, they do not taste like Gideon's. This is
like I
them.
said, honestly, I'd just soon have the Nestle Kettle House recipe than these.
I would too, because you do taste the more butter.
It's a buttery,
and
a
salt.
little salty. Yeah.
And you don't get that in this.
No, I mean,
this
you could
is
have
just
sprinkled
a basic cookie dough recipe.
You could have sprinkled some of that, like we've got that flake salt. You could have
The
sprinkled.
Malvern, yeah.
You could have sprinkled some of that on top of it before you baked it. That would have been awesome.
Right.
But it's not. I mean, yeah, it's good. I'm
It's
not going
just
to say
a
it's bad.
basic
It's
chocolate chip
good.
cookie, though. That's what that is,
Yeah.
I think. So if you have come across, if you've tried Gideon's, you know what I mean. You know what I'm looking for, and it's hard to find. But if you've tried, if you've made one yourself at home, I would love to see your recipe, and because I would absolutely give it a try. Because I'm always, I want to be able, because they don't ship. Gideon's is one of those companies, they will not ship to your house. You have to go get them, and you have to go to Orlando for that experience. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.